So, hi y'all, welcome. And for today, we're going to be doing something which I've been talking about for the most longest time, which is a foundation review. And it's going to be a wear test. And I haven't done one of these before, but I've been waiting to do this for literally years. Like when I started my page, this was one of the reasons why I wanted to start. And I don't know. I just couldn't just start off, and I think everything has a time. So we're gonna start off with that today, and this is gonna be extremely fun. We're gonna do a full day wear test today. So let's start off. Okay, so let's just talk a little bit about my skin type before we start. I am extremely oily, like so oily that I don't think anyone could be as oily as me, and that's the level of oiliness I am. I think I kind of surpass the general oily category type, and I'm in some category which is like extremely oily, and I don't think anyone else is there in that. So let's move on to the product, and when you see this, it is a glass packaging, which is classy, and it also can be a disaster sometimes. And this one has 30 mils of product, and it has 15 shades in it. I think 15 shades is pretty like average, and when I see the shade chart, they do seem to cater to the deeper complexions as well as the lighter complexions, which is perfect, and these retail for 599 rupees. I'm going to do one half of my face by using a brush and the other half of my face using a beauty blender. So let's just give it a good shake and let's take it out. Okay, it's just not coming out. Let's start applying it onto my skin. Okay, wow, like the shade range looks pretty okay. Maybe it's a tad lighter, just a hair lighter than my skin, but totally workable for today. The coverage is definitely not full. I would say it's more of a light to medium coverage, and the finish is pretty matte. Not so matte that your skin looks like Sahara Desert matte, but kind of healthy matte kind of a way. And I like it. I don't mind that finish. And as of now, it isn't clinging onto any patches or it isn't really settling anywhere. It looks good. It seems to apply well. And I'm just doing a very thin layer, but I'm going to check how it looks when you layer it up. So we will do that next. Looks good on the nose. It is sticking on the nose. I don't have any primers on, so I just wanted to give it a fair try. It's sitting really well on the nose, which is something I like. It's sitting well on the upper lip area. I don't know, but it's just me, I guess. I have a bit of issues with products settling and sitting well on the upper lip area, but this one seems to kind of adhere well. Not bad. There's no cakiness even on the chin. So I would say at this point of time, it's kind of like a medium coverage. Let's see whether we can build it up. I'm going to take some more. Let's try it on some areas like my cheeks where I have a couple of marks going on. So let's just try patting it there. Not bad. It actually layers up beautifully. I mean, like usually matte foundations do not, but this one does layer up beautifully. There are no lines, there's no cakiness, it's not lifting off the bottom layer, which I think is amazing. So it does layer really well. So we're just going to use this blender from Bloom and we're going to start patting the product into the skin. So I like a product which is versatile. This one does blend really well even with a beauty blender. It doesn't separate, and that means the formulation is not just oil based. It has a lot of water in it, so it doesn't really separate with a beauty blender too. It seems to sink well into the skin. When I see the two sides, this one definitely looks a little more on the very natural kind of side. So foundation is on and it layered beautifully. It does not cake up. It does not cling onto any patches. I don't see any added texture which has been created by the foundation. So I'm just going to wait for around 15 minutes for it to dry and settle down, and then I'll be right back. I just have a couple of important factors to talk about, and I have it on my phone and we're going to speak it out. So first is coverage, and coverage is pretty much like medium to buildable coverage. May not be a full coverage, but pretty much medium to full, workable on a day-to-day basis, good for occasions, good for events. You can tone it down, you can keep it as minimal as possible, and then it won't look extremely overdone too. So now coming to the finish of the foundation, this is definitely not on the extremely matte finish, which is something I really like. So it doesn't make you look extremely flat, but it also gives you a matte kind of a finish, more like a demi matte. I like this finish, and how it feels on the skin is that it's pretty lightweight, and in certain places, especially where I went for the second layer, like I went in the areas of my pores just to see how it looks on the pores, and in the forehead because of the tanning patches, but only in those places it feels a little more kind of like tight. Like I wouldn't say tight exactly, like it kind of just feels a little like there is something in that place, and the rest of the skin feels extremely lightweight. You don't really feel like you're wearing anything, which is something I like. And let's talk about the nose area, which is a problematic zone. I think it sits very, very beautifully on the nose. I don't have any product settling like, on the sides of my nose. It doesn't seem to separate. It doesn't seem to settle. I've also used it a little bit on my under eye area. So there is no creasing as of now. Like you can see my fine lines, but there is no creasing of the product, which is something I really like. So let's do that. And after that, we're going to do the wear test, where I'll be wearing it for probably maybe around 12 hours-ish, around 12 hours, and let's see how it goes. The time is around 11:28, and I'll give you an update probably after 4 hours. So hey y'all, here's an update for you. The time is around 1:47, and you can see my skin. I am getting a little oily, mainly on the forehead, the nose, and the sides. The rest looks a little bit handleable, not too dry still. So what we're gonna do is that we're gonna take a tissue, and I'm gonna try to just dab in the areas where I'm extremely oily. So not much of product transfers, so I'm just gonna go ahead with the same step. I didn't expect this because it's just been around 2 hours, 2.5 hours, and I'm oily already. Okay, so we're here for another check-in, and the time is like around 5:34, and it's been like almost 6 hours, I think, since we started, and I'm not liking it, to be honest. It looks extremely oily, especially my T-zone, and the product is starting to separate right now. I did powder once in the middle, and in spite of it, this is how it looks. So it's not able to hold up with the oiliness. Plus, it definitely isn't sweat resistant, and it is looking a little oily. Like in the morning with the other check-in, it was a little more on the dewier side, but then now it is just pure oily. I look super oily, and everything is literally matte, like my contour, my blush, and everything is completely matte, and it still looks extremely oily. Okay, it's 7:44 right now, which has been close to around, I guess around 7-8 hours by now. And I think it was a fair amount of time to test the foundation, and you can see that it just looks like a mess on my skin. And I have been constantly touching it up. So I have been taking some tissue, dabbing it around, taking it off, and putting a little bit of loose powder. And in spite of it, there are some patches where the product has just kind of moved and come off, and I still look extremely oily. I just kind of touched up an hour before, and I'm already this oily. So I don't think it holds a lot. Till the first 4 hours, it was looking a little okay, and then after that, it just kind of went downhill for me. So definitely not a pick for me. Maybe for someone who's a little more on the normal to oily side, I think this would work. But for someone who's a completely oily person like me, I don't think this is gonna hold good. So I'm definitely gonna keep trying this one out, and I'll give you a couple of updates on my stories on Instagram. So make sure you follow me there, and let me know whether you tried this one out, or if you have any other perfect oily skin friendly foundations. Just recommend it down in the description bar below, and I'd love to do a try out for you. So give me a big thumbs up if you like this video, and stay tuned for more. And until next time, bye.